Hey, here's a quick rundown of the DJI Mic 2, why I recommend them. Yes, they're a little bit more expensive than the basic DJI mics that are like roughly half the cost, $100 less, maybe $200 less. If you're using this for business purposes and you're talking about a $100 to $200 difference, there's a number of reasons why they're going to be better. They're going to be more upgradable down the road. So, for instance, inside your case here, the nice little charging case that it comes with, it has a great battery that you can put it in here, and it charges it. It has adapters for both iPhone and USB-C. With those cables, they're all in this little case. You can use this to go to a tablet, to a laptop, to whatever you want with either of those adapters. It also has two mics, so it comes with two fuzzies, so you can microphone two people. And I think both of the DJI mics have like those general features. But I'm going to get to the reason why these are just better. I don't believe with the minis, and actually I own both sets. These are the ones I use because they're just I think the minis do not allow you to. I'll show you my case. Here's the case that it comes in, and it fits so nicely. Put it in here. Oh, the little adapter. Drop that in there. Close it up. It's like a weather sealed. You can see like like on backpacks, how, like camping backpacks, how they have like little like weather sealed zipper, and that just if there were to get a little bit of moisture on it, regular zippers would let water through. This one it doesn't. Inside its case, you can see here both of those little dead cat little fuzzies, the wind blockers. In the middle, there's a little spot here, and I put that little DJI. It's an additional thing. If you have Sony cameras, you slide this into your camera, and that will power your receiver. So you never have to worry about batteries. For instance, here I've got a Sony A7 Mark IV that is like my webcam for the most part, unless I'm gone with it. And I can just slide this into the hot shoe if I want to. While I'm at home, I have this bigger mic, so I'm using that one. But when I'm traveling, I use this all the time, so I don't have to like plug in the cables, because the cables can get knocked, they can get broken. I had a camera where the microphone input got kind of broken, and it was going to cost so much to get it replaced. It was like I ended up just selling it to a photographer and told him, hey, the audio input kind of works and kind of doesn't. Like if you push down in a certain way, it would work fine. And he was like, I do photography, I don't need it. So he took a slight discount, way cheaper than me selling the camera or getting it repaired. So that's the reason I like that. Also, it has better audio quality because it uses the digital receiver and sends the digital signal into your camera. So it's just better quality audio than the 3.5 cable. But now I'm going to show you this case why I also like it. In the case, you have a little spot where you can put the little cable that it comes with. Also, I have, now this is the big difference between the Mini and this one, is it has the full-on wired connector for putting a lav mic into your mics. So yes, you can use these as microphones themselves. For instance, you can pull these out here and just use this with the cat underneath your shirt. It'll sound great. But if you want it to sound truly professional, and I'm on projects, that's all I do is filming for my career, people are using these exact microphones, the DJI Mic 2s, on professional projects, even though I've got $1,000 sets. These are just, they're great. Now, the main reasons, I guess, for that, if you watched it this long, I want to give you a little reward for watching, is they have internal recording. So, you can plug in the wire to them, which this is going to have a much better audio quality. You might not be using the microphones right away, but down the road you might decide, hey, I want to buy even a $30 mic. Will often sound amazing. You can hide the wire so it's much more inconspicuous, and it works great. So my microphone's like $300 for just that wire, another $350 for this set, another $50 for that adapter. You can see how this set starts to become more in the professional world, but compared to, let's say, Electrosonics, which are multiple thousands of dollars for each component, these are an amazing deal. And the audio quality on these ones are top notch, especially when you run the wired into them. But from a standpoint of why do I use these over the even higher end ones that I own? These have internal recording. So when I pull them out, automatically that red light comes on, it starts recording. I can push the red button here, like that, it stops. I don't use the internal noise reduction because, let's face it, I can reduce the noise canceling later. Maybe if I was like doing a vlog or a really quick turnaround, like this type of video, maybe I would use it if I was in a noisy environment. I don't. But to turn it on, you just push the power button once, and you'll notice it changes to yellow. Push it once, it goes back to green. Push it one more time, it goes to yellow. And you can kind of, so basically from this unit, without having to use an app, without having to do anything else, you can turn noise canceling on. You can turn recording on or off. All of that is literally just push a button right here, and it has the light indicators to tell you exactly what's going on. With the minis, you don't have that feedback, so you're like, oh, what's going on with it? I don't know. The noise canceling in these are pretty good if you're like out and about and it's a noisy environment. Let's say that you're on a trade show floor, you are in a mall, let's say you're in a car. It'll cancel out a lot of that background noise. It won't cancel out of their voices, but it'll cancel the kind of the just background noise, you know. The other thing I love about this is this actual receiver. I'll try to get it to focus. Maybe I can get it to focus on my hands, and then you can see the receiver here. There we go. So on the receiver, you can swipe up or down and go in and change all of your settings. It's a little bit, you have to learn how to kind of swipe control it. And then there is the physical button here that you can rotate through it, and you can click on it. So that's a little bit when you're, on a project and your hands are, this is rigged up on a camera. Trying to reach and doing the touchscreen is a little annoying, so it is a little bit easier using this physical button to navigate through it. But basically, what I use that menu for is I like to set the receiver gains, the transmitter gains, all of that stuff. It's great to have, but the real clutch feature that this has compared to really any other mic quite like it is that I can remotely start and stop that recorder on your mic that you're wearing from this. So what I can do is I can put a mic on you. It's going to pair to this instantly. That's the other thing is, a lot of these, I believe they auto scan, they connect to it right away, and then they just make sure that the frequency there's no interference with them, basically, up to like couple hundred feet. As long as you have line of sight to the microphone, great signal. I think a few hundred feet, like a football field away. If you turn and they can't see each other, then the signal will drop. But if you're, in a smaller area, it'll have better signal. Nice thing of these compared to like the Sennheiser G3s is that those are, I believe, analog systems or digital analog, whatever they are. I don't know. These are using like the 2.4 gigahertz digital signal. So basically, as long as these have signal, they can communicate to each other. You have no dropped. You don't have any like weird interference. So for example, again, at a very busy event like a trade show or something like that, whereas the other ones might have a longer range normally, if there's other signals that are hitting the same frequency, it can create noise and static and dropouts. And these, in a very congested environment, will have better audio quality than even the thousands of dollars sets. So there's pros and cons. Now, I will say the minis have a longer range than these because those are a newer wireless technology. These have been out for a few years, so who knows if they're going to make a version 2 this year. But I love these. I can remotely start and stop, so I can put 2 microphones on either one person to do a backup audio or 2 different people. And I can start and stop both of their microphones remotely, the recordings. But what I like to do to make editing easy is I open the case, pull out both of these at the exact same time. The audio starts recording. Well, as long as I have had to buy a replacement magnet for these. Oh, these have the magnets. So you can use just like the other ones are really small. It honestly doesn't matter that these are too big as long as there's pros and cons to them. But basically you mount this inside of your shirt and then clip the magnet to the outside of your shirt and voila, you lock it in place. What else? Oh yeah, because you pulled these out of the case at the same time, you can have like the same audio files. Like you drag them onto your timeline, they'll both be in sync, which is great. I think that's kind of all of them, but at least with this one, I know for sure. You pull them out of the case and they auto start. It's just great. But yeah, you can start and stop the records with these. The audio will never clip on these because they have 32-bit float. 32-bit float, and they're pretty automatic. So if the audio gets really loud, it doesn't matter. You can fix it later. Or if the audio is really quiet, you can bring it up later. Basically, you can not go wrong with these. So biggest difference would be internal recording for them. So you can go record podcasts on site without even a camera. Like you could take these out. Let's say you want to go, you're driving and you want to just clip it on and leave an audio note. Kind of like an, do I have one? Yeah, I've got one up here. Where did it go? Here it is. I don't know if you've ever had one of these guys, the Zoom H1N, whatever it is, a little audio recorder, little muff on it. So this captures great audio if I want to do like an interview, a man on the street interview, like, hey, how's it going? Great. So today's news is that there was a shooter on the loose at the mall, and yeah, how do you feel about that? Oh yeah, I'm really scared. I can go back and forth and do interviews like this, no camera required, and just gather audio. But with these, you can do the same thing. You put your little muff on them. That just goes in like this. Boom. I've got the same thing. And you actually see people on TikTok all the time holding the microphone. And sometimes they just synchronize them in post. But normally you could just plug your receiver, your USB receiver, into your phone, and your audio is synced. You can have noise reduction on it. You've got internal recording, so you could do a podcast. You can sit down with somebody. Let's say you're recording with a phone, and your phone turns off mid-recording, and you're like, oh no, crud, let's fix it. Let's start it up again. You don't have to worry. No matter where you were in conversation, you have the microphone audio recording. You've got it. As long as that light is red, which I've never had issues with these ones like turning off. They just record continuously for hours and hours. They have an internal recording. And to download it off of these ones compared to the old ones, these have a USB-C. So I literally just grab a USB-C cable, plug it in, it pops on my computer, and I can offload the files just like that. So these really have everything that I like about them. The things I didn't like at the very beginning is the fact that these don't have locking audio. They don't have like a locking port. So for professionals, that is a no-no. You would never use these for that. But what you can do with these, I'll pull them out again just for you since you're watching this video 13 minutes into it. You can take your mic. Okay, so this is a Countryman B3, I think. Or this is a Sanken COS11d. Sanken COS11d or COS11d. You take your mic, which is a Sennheiser connection, 3.5 millimeter locking connection. So on my Sennheisers, on a few different ones, they lock into place, and it's great. So you can just click it in, and it will not come off unless you unscrew it. But I saw a tip. This can be effectively a locking. Like right now, if it can remember, it only has to come a little loose a little bit to ruin your recording. So you don't want that. But you take this guy like this. See if it'll let me do this. There you go. So you clip your mic in like normal. So I'll just do it from the beginning. Boom, boom, like that. Then you're going to take the cable and you're going to loop it. You're going to open up the little clip like that and go inside of it and then go like that. Ta-da! Now you have a locking connection because this is what's getting strain relieved. This, unless it was somehow pulled out, but you can't really pull on it because it's locked down here. And to know that this is a real feature that they, and I just stopped the recording now because I'm like, I don't need that. It is a real thing that they actually tried to do because inside of it, I don't know if you can see it here, right there. There you go. See where my hand is? That little tiny tooth right there. right here underneath that is a little tiny vertical thing that like the cable goes through. So you actually, this is designed so that you can have a locking lav mic. Like they designed that into it, knowing that you could run your cable through it and secure your cable. I don't know why they didn't just put the 3.5 millimeter locking thing. I don't know. Also, I've heard that only certain lav mics work with these. I remember plugging in another mic and it didn't work. So there is something to be said about that. Also, the little pouch, I have a little moleskin. You can, they're basically like, that's how you can tape the mic to your skin or to a shirt and not have it show. So I'm just putting away the microphone set now. And here it is. The other thing is here, boom, there's little indicators when you open it up. Shows you how much battery. I've got 3 bars. I charge it whenever it gets to 2. It probably goes 20 hours, 30 hours, say. At least 20 hours of usage. But again, I shoot professionally for a living. So I use these all the time. They live in my camera case. I've been on so many different projects where these have come in clutch. I'm not even bringing my Sennheiser sets, and I've got a couple of different, the Sennheiser AVX, Sennheiser G3. I also have the Sony UL, I don't know what it is. Sony higher end. It was over $1,000 for that set. I don't use any of those. I use these ones, and I picked up the minis because I had certain scenarios where they're kind of heavy, so they weigh down. Like people are complaining about how heavy they are because old microphones weighed like 10 to 20 times the weight of this, and you'd only wear them on your belt pack and you'd wire up the mic. But yeah, these are just so simple to hide. They work great. They have all of the features, and I don't think there's any other microphone on the market right now that has all of these features. So I love it. I will use them. I use them all the time, and I think, do I have 2 sets of these? Maybe I have 2 sets. I think I have 2 sets of the old ones, the DJI mics when they first came out, and then I don't remember if I'd lost. I think I lost the set, and I needed them for a shoot, so I was just like ordered another set, and I was like good to go. I don't know where those ones went. Anyways, I got a lot of gear because I do a lot of. That's what I do, so I shoot. But if you're gonna get mics, I would recommend these. They will not serve you wrong. They're great, and yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching.